Shedeur Sanders finally gets good news on Monday after Kevin Stefanski clips Browns QB's wings. When Shedeur Sanders finally heard his name called on day 3 of the NFL draft, the Sanders family turned a detour into a moment. His first reaction? Dancing in the living room with older brother Shiloh. Then came the quieter moment that said the most. Shiloh walking over and embracing his mother, Pilar Sanders. The chain, the pool jump, and the moment with Sensei all played well on camera. But the pause with Pilar said more. She's been there for every turn in Shedeur's path, and now she's here again, anchoring him as he starts an NFL career that didn't begin the way he imagined. That same maternal connection drives Pilar today, doing whatever it takes for her son, just like Tuesday's fishing post proved. This Monday, Pilar shared on her Instagram story with 2 fishing stickers and wrote, "Any great fishing spot around Cleveland?" Her followers, of course, connected the dots that she's basically settled into Cleveland life for Shedeur. But Pilar's fishing post really shows how much she'll do for her children. Despite a difficult divorce from Dion in 2013, both parents showed up when Shedeur watched draft unfold. In fact, Pilar Sanders found herself at a loss for words as her sons kicked off their NFL journeys. She took to Instagram to share a family snapshot that included her ex-husband Deion Sanders, their daughter Shalomi, and the newest additions to the Browns and Buccaneers. In her heartfelt post, she wrote, "2 sons, 1 league. Greatness is in the bloodline. This is more than football. It's a legendary legacy for the Heddick gang. Words cannot describe this feeling." Even though the draft didn't go exactly as planned, her boys are now in the NFL, and that's a huge win. No matter how they got there, both Shedeur and Shiloh are now pros. You see, Shiloh always craved his mother's presence, admitting, "Not having my mom close by, it's pretty different not having her close by." But he chose distance anyway, leaving Pilar to redirect her maternal energy elsewhere. When one son pulls away, the other gets full attention. That's exactly what's happening now. With all the locker room drama swirling around Cleveland, Shedeur desperately needs his mom's comfort now more than ever, and she knows it. Shedeur's talent meets reality in Cleveland's crowded quarterback room. Shedeur Sanders' draft slide to Cleveland turned into the perfect storm. The Colorado star crashed all the way to the 5th round when most had him pegged for the 1st. Now he's landed with the only franchise desperate enough to actually start a 5th rounder at quarterback. Cleveland's quarterback room is a disaster. Joe Flacco is 40 years old and showing it. Kenny Pickett couldn't cut it in Pittsburgh. Oregon's Dylan Gabriel is just another 3rd-round question mark. Sanders might be facing his biggest test yet, but he's also got the clearest path to a starting job. Sometimes falling into chaos creates the best opportunities. His camp apparently misjudged how NFL scouts viewed him. Teams backed away quietly. When the Browns grabbed him, nobody called it a steal. GM Andrew Berry kept it real. "We felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select 2 quarterbacks, but we do believe in the best player available. We do believe in positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the 5th round." Translation: Sanders became a development project, not a franchise savior. Cleveland treated him like what he was, a 5th-round flyer worth the gamble. Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff sold Sanders as a developmental prospect successfully. Nick Wilson of 92.3 The Fan noticed the narrative shift. When it comes to Shedeur, Wilson noted on Saturday, "I get he's a 5th-round pick. He's a developmental prospect. Some of that I think he's insincere about, but the Browns convinced people that this is true. The OTAs proved this approach. Sanders split reps equally with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and rookie Dylan Gabriel. No special treatment, no first-team snaps during media sessions. Shedeur is really making waves in the Browns locker room, and that's a great sign for his shot at leading the offense this season. If he stays focused and keeps up his good behavior, he's almost guaranteed a spot on the team. That would bring him one step closer to getting his big break, and his mom will be right beside him, his biggest cheerleader. It was a Monday afternoon, heavy with the weight of uncertainty, the kind that lingers over a quarterback when the headlines have turned cold. Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Primetime Sanders, had tasted both fame and criticism in equal measure. His name carried legacy, but the NFL demanded more than lineage, it demanded resilience. The weekend before, Sanders had been unexpectedly clipped, not by injury, but by decision. Kevin Stefanski, the Cleveland Browns head coach, had made the kind of move that sends tremors through a locker room. With one swift announcement, the team's quarterback rotation shifted and Shedeur found himself grounded. Stefanski's reasoning remained behind closed doors, cloaked in the usual coach speak of strategic direction and game tempo control, but everyone knew what it looked like from the outside. A stall in Sanders' ascension. He didn't speak to the press. He didn't tweet. No cryptic Instagram stories. Just silence. Fans speculated. Critics whispered louder. Was Shedeur not ready? Had the pressure finally bent him? But Monday came bearing unexpected winds. That morning, while fog still hung over Lake Erie and the city of Cleveland went about its workaday rhythm, a call came in. It wasn't from the Browns front office, but from an unexpected voice, a scout from the Baltimore Ravens, intrigued by Sanders' poise under pressure and his flashes of brilliance, even when the system hadn't supported him. "Keep your head up," the scout said over the phone. "Not every path to greatness is straight. Some require a detour." Later that day, the Browns held a closed-door meeting. Stefanski, known for his tight-lipped discipline, addressed the QB room with a shift in tone. "I made a call Saturday night," he said, eyes sweeping the room. "Maybe too quick. Sometimes a step back is the only way to see what you've really got. Shedeur, you're starting next week." It wasn't an apology. It was something better, a vote of confidence. The news hit Twitter like a dropped match in dry brush. Shedeur Sanders to start week 3 trended before noon. Some fans cheered, others winced. But Shedeur, he just nodded when told. That was his answer. Because Shedeur knew what the doubters didn't. He remembered the late nights with his father, going over tape until their eyes ached, the practices in Colorado where he'd thrown until his arm felt like rubber. He knew the pressure of being Dion's son and the harder pressure of being a man expected to be more than that. His past was filled with people writing him off, too flashy, too protected by his dad, too much talk, not enough grit. But they hadn't seen the hours. They hadn't seen the work. And now, finally, a new chapter was his to write, not as the coach's reluctant experiment, but as the team's calculated bet. By midweek, something had shifted in the Browns facility. Teammates, who'd previously kept distance, now clapped him on the back. The offensive coordinator called him QB1 without hesitation. Even the media softened, turning their barbed questions into curious ones. But Shedeur didn't waste energy proving anything to them. He wasn't playing for vindication. He was playing for the game he loved and the little kid inside him who used to sleep with a football instead of a teddy bear. Then came game day.